Okay, all right. Welcome back to another episode of It Has a Charter and Everything. The April 28th edition, episode 3, I believe it is. I am Last Man Stanton. I'm joined here with the GM of the BG Boys. How's it going?
Well, I'm sitting in first place in the league, so it's going pretty good.
Oh, you are. I haven't
Just,
checked
just
today.
got
Oh,
the
yes, you
really
are.
breaking news.
We
It's
were
the
gonna
first time
do.
I think it's ever happened, so I'd be remiss not to celebrate.
You've got to celebrate these wins when you get them. It's a long year, so you got to stay in it with the victories when you see them. So good job to the BGini boys. Any crazy recent performances last 14 days? Who's Ozzy
Um,
Albies? Yeah, he's been very good recently.
Bay has been stealing a whole bunch of bases. He stole two
Still,
in one game. He
yeah,
stole, or what is 5 in 2 days or something. Michael Harris is freshly off the injured list, so
he's
he's back.
back. I thought I saw that. So yeah, looking up for the BGini boys. Bay is Bay, as we will talk about later on in the episode.
Also, shout out to the Yahoo injury reports because they were basically saying Michael Harris was like doomed for eternity and he wasn't even taking batting practice. Then all of a sudden he's just like back and in the lineup.
Yeah, sometimes yeah, you gotta do some digging. Um, all right, so just jumping right into our itinerary here from observations from the major leagues. Anthony Bass was recently Twitter's main character, which is kind of wild.
Yeah. So for those folks who are not extremely online, there's kind of an idiom saying about Twitter that every day on Twitter there is one main character and you don't want to be it. Because that's when Twitter comes together, the users swim and just roast the ever living daylights out of you. Um, and so, yeah, Anthony Bass, unsuspecting, wasn't high on my list of people I thought would be making a social media splash this year. Um,
Yet, the more you dug into this, the more actually it's not so surprising.
yeah, so fun fact Anthony Bass married to Sydney James Bass, Sydney's. Anyways, his wife is an Instagram influencer in her own right, has over 1 million followers, and her sister is Jesse James Decker, which is how we end up on People magazine because Jesse James Decker is an American country singer who's also married to an NFL player. So this is where all the web starts to grow, and it all results on this story going like mainstream, which is wild for like a kind of middle of the pecking order pitcher in the J system.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so what did he do again? Yeah, yeah, this is the tweet right here. Um,
So, as Chrissy Teigen correctly pointed out in one of her tweets about this is the type of story that you do not tweet on Maine because it has everything Twitter users are looking for. A person who thinks they're in the right when you can argue that they are entitled and in the wrong. Very short version here is Anthony Bass's wife is pregnant and she was traveling by herself with their two young children. And one of the kids were given popcorn by the airline, which I think is an important detail. Kids, made a mess as they do.
contributory negligence.
Yes. And the flight attendant came by and, according to them, said the pilot is going to refuse to fly the plane this until you clean this up. This is dangerous. Here's a garbage bag. You have to get on your hands and knees and pick it up.
Oh, I didn't realize there was the threat of this plane will not fly.
Evidently, I mean,
Wow, okay. Who's to
um,
say?
and I do find it funny that Anthony Bass is tweeting this out when his wife has like 1 million Instagram and her sister also did eventually put this up on Maine. So his argument is, he made the rookie mistake of going into the comments. Never go in the comments. There's nothing good for you there. And he was
No.
actually like arguing with randoms on Twitter about this. And his argument was that the airline pays a cleaning staff to clean, and so therefore, why can't they clean up the popcorn as part of their cleaning duties? somebody responded and said the Jays pay you to pitch strikes, and you seem to struggle with that. So
Yeah,
why should
you're not good at cleaning up eighth inning messes or whatever.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to be too harsh on Anthony Bass. He's had good innings at times. But yeah, so he was Twitter's main character. And yeah, if you're an athlete, you can't don't the replies are there's nothing good in there for you, right? Like even and if you are going to go in there, you need to be like Kevin Durant or something, right? With like sock puppets and really commit to the bit.
yeah, you can't dabble. You're either online and you get how it
Mm,
works. You
yeah,
can't dabble in it. You can't just post a bunch of photos of you in your various team uniforms and then all of a sudden get into it on the comments one day. There's no winning for you.
that's
The internet
yeah,
will
that's true.
always win.
The internet always wins. So yeah. And yeah, so Anthony Bass ended up being a trending topic for the search term Eric Decker, which is kind of funny, right?
Yeah, it escalated. The jokes have already continued. Like, he's we'll get into this a little bit later, but yeah, it's it also it plays into the Jay's Gala Fits.
Right. Okay, so then we might as well just transition in.
Yeah.
So do you want to, so they had their like a fundraising gala, right? Is this the one where they eat dinner on the field with everyone who bought a ticket?
Yes, this is their signature. And I know we're doing fashion content back to back. However, it's not
It's
my
true, we're going back to the
fault.
well here.
Not my fault that this is the timing of the Jay's signature gala. Like, I'm
That's true.
sorry.
We want current content. We're bringing you currency here. This is our value add.
Yeah, and this is like a nice bookend to the conversation we had last week. So, yes, this is the Jays, as they say, signature fundraising event. It is a gala. Okay. Look how the women are dressed. The women are wearing gowns and heels. Okay. So perhaps the men should be sort of meeting their partners where they are. And I
Mm,
would argue Kevin Gosman's obviously in a suit. He's taken the suit jacket off, but like,
hmm.
he's got a belt. His pants are the correct length. Shoes are a little questionable, but like, he's got it together.
He's Kevin Gosman. I don't know what more do you want from him. He looks great, I think.
Alec Manoa, like again, playing with proportions. It's well tailored though, fits him. We're seeing it's hitting the wrist at a nice spot. Feels a little casual for me. However, it's still, I think you can tell that it's
That's
well
part of
made
his
in
brand.
fashion. Yeah,
He's kind of he's bringing the like kind of urban, more casual but dressed up, like fitting that kind of athleisure
exactly.
into what his fit is.
And he's well groomed, and the whole look is clean on the whole. So we can
Yeah.
take a little slightly casual look if the rest of it all comes together. We have to keep going. There's some buck wild things coming.
So we're moving on to the second look here.
Okay, Kikuchi.
Kikuchi.
As someone in the comments said, Kikuchi Riz. This is a charisma fit, like the tech, because it's hard to pull off the black on the black on the black without looking like
Mm,
waiter or like mafia. But
it's
he's
true.
got he's got a lot of texture in that suit jacket, and it fits him perfectly. And honestly, the lady in his life has dressed perfectly. She's got the Blue Jays. She's got like a deep blue happening. She like matches. Look how good she looks in the locker room. She's on theme. Yeah, this is
Great
and the
hair.
beards.
They look great. They
They are
look great.
combined. They're both elevating each other. Combined
Yeah,
score.
good
Perfect.
job.
See, Vladdy, I love this outfit on Vladdy, and I wish this is what he wore to the home opener. It just feels a little
Mm.
casual for a gala, but he looks great. The watch
Oh,
is obviously
the
blinged.
print looks very expensive.
Yeah,
I
and
would
that
say that looks like a
necklace.
very expensive shirt, t-shirt,
I
or
know,
like a collared shirt rather.
it just looks too casual for a gala, but he looks
That's
great.
true. That's true. This is an interesting cut on this jacket here. Oh, it's
This
got a zipper, does it? Okay.
this is
So it's more of a jacket.
extremely. This is like what's happening in fashion right now. This is
Oh,
sort of
okay.
like a silhouette that's like extreme. Like this is
Kind of this shorter
yes.
jacket style.
Yeah, kind of a bomb, like a dressed up bomber kind of
Hmm.
fit.
Yeah, because it has this kind of lapel. I think I mean, it looks cool. Looks
Looks and
nice.
it just
The
looks.
t-shirt, do you think it's too casual
I
for the
mean,
gala?
I yeah, again, I feel like these two. If you saw this photo of these two, would you think they were at a gala? You would think they're
I
at the
think they're at
bar
a
or like a nice
I think they're at a
restaurant.
club, especially with the blue kind of lining around them. Yeah,
Yeah, this fortunately doesn't say gala, but they look great.
they do look great. So that's, that's 50% of the
Now here the wheels come off dramatically. We are straight off the cliff. I don't even know where to start. Brandon Belt, that is the most wrinkled shirt I've ever seen. No belt.
I think it
Like
was because I think it was tucked in, I think. So you usually don't see this wrinkle. I don't know why he's got it untucked. He looks like a
he
used car salesman.
he looks insane. And then Danny Jansen is wearing his father's suit.
Why the
Look
cut
at
on
his
this is way
sleeve.
too why you see his is actually too short, I think, and his is much too long.
Like
I think
Danny Jansen looks. This is a professional athlete. Why does he not have a nice suit? Like it doesn't fit him.
it doesn't fit. It's too big.
He
It's
looks.
like
It makes his head look this big. Like because the
I
suit
mean,
is
I don't
so
know.
big.
I don't want to be whatever he's doing is working because he's kind of seeing the ball well right now. So if this is what it takes, then I'm fine with that.
I wish it wasn't at this cost to my
And
eyes.
I want to go to Studio 54 with this stud of a man.
Oh my God.
He looks great.
He looks great. It's very 1975, but you know what? It's working for him.
It's working. So, I mean, Gala, I don't know. It's a black suit. I think this must be after because he might have taken his like loose, opened his neck up a bit. He untucked his shirt. Like this might be after,
I
and
don't know.
then
You can
Danny might have gotten the blazer that's there all the time or something. Just thrown it on.
also, I think Brandon Belt's in jeans, which is just it's terrible. This
Okay.
whole thing is
All right.
terrible.
All right. We like these guys all just though. Like, I mean, he like obviously shampooed his hair and stuff.
Yeah.
So
See, first Jano wearing his dad's suit? Question mark. Yes, that's what we are all wondering.
yeah. All right. All right. Moving on.
This is just nice. Um, Whit Merryfeather, those navies don't match at all, but as we've discussed, 1 in 8 males are colorblind. It's obviously a nice
As we've
jacket.
discussed. They
Uh,
look like they're friends. They look like
yeah.
this looks like it could be at a wedding, you
Yes,
know?
this is big 11 p.m. at a wedding with your like best college roommate.
Yeah, these are like real smiles. This is
Yeah,
awesome. This is great to
this
see.
is great. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Love it.
Um, yeah, I feel like Biggio looks way too casual. And this is a guy trying to fight for a spot in the lineup. I feel like you gotta like dress for the job you want. He's looking too
Yeah,
casual for me.
too cash. I question this suit on Bassett. I do.
I
I
question
just
that
feel like
hair.
they've
He looks
got
like he's
they've got
wearing
money.
bangs.
Yeah, and Varsho could get a better, but I don't think Varsho, I feel like he's someone who's devoted all of his energy to being the best baseball player he can be. And that's like his one and only focus.
Uh,
So it makes sense that he wouldn't have the greatest haircut.
Also, Varsho's sleeves are too long, but that's again. Swanson looks great. Uh, you
Maybe
know,
they should put a team tailor in the clubhouse along with the barber. You could have the barber and the tailor right next to each other because they do have the new clubhouse has the two barber seats in it.
yeah, I think a tailor would be
A
the
tailor
natural.
would be kind of like a next level move because you could get these guys in much better suits, right? Like especially this Bassett suit.
Uh,
Romano, what? What is
Romano
this?
looks. When
I mean,
was
that's
this
part of
photo
his bit,
taken?
though. That's part of his bit. His bit is to like get out there and look a little deranged, right?
I feel
Like
like I
pace
can
around the
smell
mound.
him through this photo. It's like this photo looks like it was taken at 4 a.m.
And his lady friend, I'm trying to see if I can see it in her eyes that she's like, yeah, I know.
Look,
Like
they're recently.
I tried to tell him to wear something else. I tried, guys. Like,
That smile is like, yeah, I know. I know.
uh, yeah, yeah. But she looks great.
So comment there. Romano just looks like he slammed a joint and took 10 shots of Fireball.
He may, I don't know, he may have. Do they treat this night like a party? I have no idea. He
Oh,
does have that like grin. Like, what did he just do?
I don't know, but it was a lot of it, whatever it was. Now this is nice. We got a nice checker paint suit, fits, everybody looks great. Everyone's well, like, thank you. Somebody on the
This is
Jays is
true.
doing this right.
This is true. We
Um,
got Trevor.
yeah, again, it's like it's not it's appropriate, it's fine,
For what I know of I believe this is Trevor Richards. From what I know of him, this fits. This makes sense. And like, yeah, it's like not like it's at the threshold that you'd want one of the Jays players to be at for sure.
um,
He has trimmed the beard. He looks
yeah.
far better than our last run through.
And what, like, from the top up, great, fine, suit jacket. But
The
like
jeans.
the jeans are too casual for that suit jacket. They're too disjointed. They're going to two
They
different.
do they look that is a color of denim that that suggests you're going to go build a deck or something
Yeah.
like that. It is a true blue collared denim, which um which is respectful, but not the shade you're looking for at a gala. This is also his. I think this is his pose. I think this is what he was doing last week too.
Yeah, which I also flash the peace signs when I don't know what to do with my hands. So man
Yeah,
after my own heart,
yeah.
top
I like
half,
his smile though.
right?
He does smile with his eyes. I think
He looks
last week he had a nice smile as well.
like he looks so lovely. That's why the pant it makes me sad on the pants that we couldn't land the plane here.
All right.
Um,
But all in all, I'd say like pretty good actually.
so
There were some questionable choices, some funny moments.
and fun fact to take this back to the Anthony Bass popcorn full circle. Uh,
Mm.
he was at that gala with his wife, and they posted a photo on their social medias. But I did notice that the Jays did not include that on their photo roundup.
Oh
I
yeah.
think
Do you think the
because
comms department had a little memo that one of the players was getting a little bit of negative feedback online?
yeah, and the comments were like hilarious on that their post. Are
Oh, right, right.
are the
That
flight
and that's
attendants
why, right?
yeah,
That's
are the
why.
flight attendants babysitting? Like, did you have
Oh, okay.
blah blah blah.
And
Anyway,
that's why you pay attention to this stuff. What else? Notes from around the league, the big leagues. Earlier this week, we had the Jays play the Chicago White Sox, and I just wanted to say the Chicago White Sox are one of my favorite booths in baseball. The one with so Benetti is kind of like their Dan Schulman, consummate professional, great voice, also born with cerebral palsy. So interesting to see someone succeed at such a high level and overcome that adversity. Steve Stone is kind of what makes it funny. He's kind of like a Buck Martinez, like kind of like former player will say anything. And these two like really genuinely like each other, and it like really shows. And they just like I don't know, they're both got a really good sense of humor. So it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch the Chicago White Sox broadcast for these guys. I mainly watch it for the announcers.
and you know what? Just on the Chicago White Sox, I feel great fan base, great announcers. They really deserve a better on-field product. They deserve a better team. The fan base doesn't deserve this.
The White Sox have been bad this year. Yeah, it's too bad. I don't know. They have like exciting players, but it just doesn't seem to, I don't know, the team isn't constructed properly or something. Um, Dan Schulman and the Biagini boys, you are certainly partial to Dan Schulman. I don't think I could convince you to watch the White Sox feed, for instance, because
Uh,
you're a Schul head.
Big Shoalhead.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest Shoalhead. I won't get into it because it's not interesting to anyone else than me. But I just will say, Dan Schulman, as you said, consummate professional. Just like so competent to a point where I just find that so deeply satisfying. And a sport like baseball, where you're signing up for a lot of games, you're spending a lot of time with the commentators, to have somebody like reliable who's like, you know what? I can sit back and relax for these 3 hours. I'm in good hands. Dan is going to tell me what's happening, and he's not going to make me mad. I mean, it's really all you can ask for as any sports fan in general. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's interesting to like watch the different feeds and to see which like the White Sox are kind of built like the Jays kind of booth with like a really good kind of play-by-play and kind of a former player, kind of older kind of guy who'll kind of like shoot from the hip. Um, the Dodgers, when Vince Scully retired, they had to like decide what kind of direction they were going with, and they kind of went with that vibe. Like the guy who does the play-by-plays has a great voice. He's like a real professional at it. Then they went with Oral Hershiser, who just like isn't as funny, but he's got good insights. He was a great pitcher. So yeah, it's interesting, like kind of like watching the other feeds sometimes. Worst booth, I think the Phillies is kind of annoying. I find John Kruk a little annoying. Doesn't have a great voice. I don't know. You'd think that he just kind of feel like he just kind of calls it in, phones it in a little bit. Not a big like stat head kind of guy. Not that I need that, but Rockies, I'm in on the Rockies. Girardi, I've been enjoying Joe Girardi as an announcer. He's kind of relaxed a bit, I find. He's on the Cubs broadcast, I think, mostly. I think that's actually where he is, the Cubs broadcast. So he's got some good insights, and he was a catcher, he was a manager of the Yankees, and like all that pressure. So it's interesting to kind of listen to what he says sometimes. The Cubs broadcast is also fun because you get the seventh inning stretch. They always have like either they have like a celebrity lead it. It's like a tradition there. They have a celebrity lead the singing of it, or they do Harry Carey video, and he's kind of like I don't know. It's just everyone gets into it. And then
yeah.
there's a Cubs
uh,
song when they win.
the if you really want some laughs, I think you can find it on YouTube. Jake Johnson, who plays Nick Miller on New Girl and voices Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse, one of the
Hmm.
Spider-Mans.
Yep.
Anyways, he's a big Chicago guy, always has been. And
Yep.
he tells this hilarious story about having to do this, doing the Take Me Out to the Ball. And he was a lifelong Cubs fan. What an honor! Couldn't turn it down. And then the sort of reality of the situation set in that he actually would have to do this, and
Yeah.
was there with all his buddies and got quite intoxicated. I won't ruin the punchline of the story, but suffice to say, it is hilarious and worth a Google if you have a spare 5 minutes.
Yep. Um. All right, and then moving on. Right. Oh yes. Next up is the Washington Nationals. So I was doing often what I'll do if I'm playing daily fantasy or looking for stream targets like pitching streamer targets is I'll go over to like team stats again, like we did this with stolen bases a while ago. Um, and I will just sort the teams by strikeouts. And then look for the bad teams up here, or the teams that strike out a lot. And at least like if my pitcher gets blown up on the stream, at least probably the team will strike out enough that I'll like get some counting stats or whatever. And so what I noticed was, and of course the Washington Nationals are a very bad team this year, is that the Washington Nationals have actually struck out the fewest amount of times this year out of all the teams, and which is a little counterintuitive, a little bit, I guess, if you think, oh, striking out is bad, bad teams strike out. And so I was like, okay, well, what's up with that?
Ooh-wee. What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh-wee. What's up with that? What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh, yes. Yeah.
And so you'll also see that, true to their bad team status, they're also near the bottom on runs scored. So they haven't been scoring runs, but they haven't been striking out. And so yeah, it's just interesting to see like how this roster construction gets borne out in the stats. And so where did I have, did I want to talk about batted ball? Not really. Okay. So we'll go over here and I built like, you can, oh yeah, this is the max EV. Yeah. And so basically the thing is that they have no power. They have no power. They're last in the league in max EV. So their strongest, highest velocity ball is the last in the league. Everyone else has one that's higher. And their hard hit rate is also like pretty low. And so you go also to, but the thing is that their contact skills are extremely high. And so I had the other stats lined up here. Right. And so it even gets a little weirder when you like kind of look at the story of the stats too. Because their chase rate, which is swings at pitches outside the strike zone, is quite high. So they're swinging a lot at pitches outside the strike zone. So you'd also think that that would translate to a higher strikeout number, but it doesn't, because their contact score is the best in the league. Their contact percentage is 80%. So they have the best contact skill so far as according to these stats out of any team in the league, but they have no power. Also, their swinging strike rate is the lowest in the league. So they're the least likely team to swing and miss at something.
That is wild. What is baffling lineup?
Yeah, it's just kind of goes to show their kind of like team mentality, I guess, which is, it's good. And then I think for this year it would have been good to go in on contact because there's less defensive shifts to take away just soft contact stuff, because you can get hits with soft contact. But it hasn't really translated into success for them because they're just not a very good ball team. But structured kind of interestingly. I thought that was interesting. Big series for the Mariners and Jays this week. Game 1 tonight. This is a matchup of the playoff series last year. So,
and the pitching matchup is I have both pitchers, Castillo.
Oh, it's boy on boy action.
Yeah, boy on boy crime tonight. So.
Well, we'll see. Well, who knows? We do quality starts, so you could get a quality start for each of them, and it'll still be an exciting game. We already looked at the standings, so notes around our league. We looked at the standings. There was some trades since our last chat. What did we get? Hate how it pops that. Right, it was Santander and Freeland. On this one, I'm definitely on the Santander side. He started kind of slow. He hit the home run yesterday, but he also struck out the other 3 times. So we'll see if he turns it around. But Baltimore's been a pretty good offense, actually. So I like the Santander side. I don't really ever, I don't know. I don't like having pitchers from Colorado, so I'm not sure I would want to trade for them. Duran and Vaughn. Duran not be available due to an immigration-related appointment. Okay. I like the Duran side of this. I think this guy's kind of nasty, actually. And we're also in a holds league, so it doesn't matter that he might not have the full saves load, I guess, full ninth inning duties, because we do holds. So he'll always be pitched in games with their head. Andrew Vaughn, I don't know. He's kind of like a post-hype kind of guy, I think, at this point. Like, I think the jury's out on whether he can actually hit. Maybe, I think contact might be a problem. I can't remember, but I like the Duran side. Any thoughts on that?
No, I love hearing when a guy's got the juice.
Yeah.
Nasty juice.
He's got the juice. We had some fab, again, the fab has been fun. People have been in on a bunch of the same, like Bellinger was a popular target last time around, and Isotopes got him. love seeing the Cubs, you know, the Cubs have been kind of good, and Patrick Wisdom, like the ball just jumps off his bat, so he can crush it if he hits it. He might be I think the worry is like is he a Joey Gallo that when he's going bad, he's going really bad, or you know, is he someone that's going to put up 30, 40 home runs for you? So could be a really good pickup off the wire. Jake McCarthy, he was dropped by Pitch Perfect, and halfway through the league with the week, I was like, oh, I'm just going to put a provisional bid on that. I'll go back and whatever. So I put $80, which is a ridiculous sum. I forgot to check my fab.
An absurd
Yeah,
sum.
yeah, I forgot to check my fab. Edouard Julien, who I had at second base, got sent down to the minors. So then I was left without a second baseman this week. And then McCarthy gets sent to the minors as well because he's been poopy, and that's why he was dropped. And so now I have too many NA guys. I didn't have a second baseman for a week. It was a mess.
Oh God, even the commissioner makes mistakes.
Yeah, unforced errors. All right, and now we got the Island Boys segment.
'Cause I'm an island boy and
One thing I wanted to mention about Island Boys is that there's nothing worse than being stuck on an island with a boy who was once your boy and is now not doing so hot. You know, because you've gone out on a limb. He's your guy. And like, especially if you drafted him high, you can't get rid of him. You don't want to sell him at a discount. He's your boy for better or worse. And so your island oasis turns into Alcatraz, right? As you were saying. And so for right now, my island boy, regrettably, is Aaron Nola. And we'll see if he can turn in a good performance tonight. But he was supposed to be my ace, and he's kind of inflated my ERA and WHIP. He was my ace, or one of them anyway. Send to an Island Boys. MLB.TV is so annoying to me, and I just want to send the entire thing to an island, but only if I can like keep watching baseball. The TV commercials for MLB channel content, like there's one about baseball cards, and there's like what is it, intentional talk or something. It just like, I don't understand why as a MLB TV subscriber you don't just get like access to that content. It's like, isn't it licensed by the same body? Like, I just give the content. Why not? It'll make your service more attractive. Like, that's just stupid. And it's like low grade content too. Like a show about baseball cards.
MLB loves parceling off their
Yeah.
their products and content into little tiny pieces and